Hello, my name is John and I will be your instructor for this online course on how to learn the bagpipes. So before we get started, you will need a bagpipe practice chanter. This chanter I have here is an R.G. Hardy practice chanter. It comes as a part of the twist trap pipes, the practice pipes. This is in the key of A. If you want to buy this one in particular, you can check the link in the description. I'll also add in some other practice chanter links. Alternatively, you could go for the Blair digital chanter, which I will also link in the description. This is a great chanter. It costs between $400 to $600 if I remember correctly. You can choose different types of bagpipes, different chanters. There's a wide range of options on it, but for this course I will be using this standard practice chanter. These are cheaper and more easily available. So every practice chanter has three main components. It has the mouthpiece where you blow into, the blowpipe. It has the practice chanter reed, and it also has the chanter itself. The practice chanter mimics the chanter of the bagpipes. So there is 9 notes on the bagpipes. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Before we start learning the notes and the scale, it is very important to take note of your positioning of your fingers on the chanter. You have to make sure that your hand is almost at a 90-degree angle. So when you're placing your fingers on the holes, it has to be very, very straight. Your fingers have to remain dead straight, because if you curl them, the holes won't get covered properly and you'll get some funky sounds. The scale of the practice chanter is low G to high A. So the first note we will be looking at is low G. So this is when every finger is on the chanter. Every finger is covering every hole. You have your left hand on top and your right hand on the bottom. When you place all of your fingers on the chanter and you blow, you should get a sound like this. If you're not getting a solid sound like that, there is probably finger covering issues where some of the holes aren't being covered properly. And again, it is very important to make sure your fingers are straight, because if you're curling your fingers, you're not going to get solid notes and sounding from the chanter. The notes of the bottom hand of the chanter are as follows. It is low G, low A, B, C, and D. This is what it sounds like when you play the bottom hand. Notice when I go from the B to the C, my baby finger goes down on the low G hole. So you go from low G, low A, B, C. The baby finger goes down. And the same applies for D. C and D, the baby finger is on that low G hole. So the bottom hand will be low G, A, B, C, and D, with the baby finger down on C and D. So once you are comfortable enough on the bottom hand going up to D, we will then work our way back down to low G, and we will have the whole right hand, the bottom hand. So we will have low G, low A, B, C, and D. We have that much so far. Then we will work our way back down, starting on the D, C, B, low A, and low G. Now we will play the bottom hand in full on the chanter, and we will go from low G up to D and down again. Feel free to play along, and I will play it nice and slow. So after D in the alphabet, it comes the letter E. So when you play an E, these three fingers come down on the bottom hand, and this finger comes up, the next hole up after D, the E hole. And you lift off your baby finger from the low G hole. So if you're going from a D to an E, you put down three fingers, your baby finger comes up, and this finger comes up. So the top hand goes E, F, high G, and high A. High A is the hole on the back of the chanter, right there. And your thumb goes on that. So that is high A. When you play a high A, this finger, the E finger, goes on the hole just above the D. And the thumb comes off for high A. So what it sounds like is... And remember, for the high A, this finger goes on the E hole. The E finger goes back down when you're playing high A with your thumb off at the back. We will go through the top hand again, nice and slow. E, F, G, and A. So we've E, F, high G, and high A. The thumb comes off for the high A, and this finger goes back on the E.